Hey, happy Friday again. Scott Smith with the Smith team at Keller Williams coming to you with part three of the Downsizing Dilemma. What type of home do you want to have, or what kind of housing would you like to have? So we talked about going from a single family home to a townhome or a condo or an apartment. What type of home do you want to have? And I want to focus on most people are going from a single family home to a townhome or a condo because it's less space. You're also going to have the association that goes along with it. So I want to just kind of spell out the differences and maybe spell some of those rumors that people like, you know what, I've heard bad stories about condos and townhomes. We're seeing more and more communities, even for younger homeowners, that have an association and what that entails. So kind of talking about let's first talk about a townhome versus a condo. A townhome in our Twin Cities, Minnesota market, Midwest, we consider that something that's it's an association maintained, higher density housing, where you actually own the dirt below you. So a townhome would be something, you're not going to be detached. Sometimes we have those villas, but typically you're going to be attached to a neighbor, maybe on one or two sides, depending on the type of setup that they've got. But a townhome, you actually own the dirt that is below you. So that's kind of an interesting way to look at it. And a condo, you actually own the space between the walls. So if you think of a big box like an apartment, a condo, you actually own what's inside of your little box. So be halfway between the walls, and you might own the balcony. You might also own parking space or storage part of that. So that's the difference between a townhome and a condo. But what do you get for that $250 to $300, maybe a little bit more, depending on what type of amenities an association would have. So first and foremost, you're moving because of lifestyle, and what things do you want to ease up on where you don't want to have to take care of things anymore. So first things are exterior maintenance on the property. So typically a townhome or a condo, all the exterior maintenance can be covered. So siding, painting, landscaping, snow and lawn care, snow removal. Those are typically included. Some associations will also include sprinklers, so they can kind of maintain their own the green lawn within the community, and you don't pay for that water bill. Some of them will also include your internal. If it's a condo, typically it'll include heat. And sometimes some cable television as well. So those are some of the things to consider. You say, okay, well, what are we getting with that? You're also getting some insurance coverage because you maybe don't have to maintain it, but those associations going to take care of any insurance claims with that. And obviously, we've seen some hailstorms in the Twin Cities, and so with that, the association fee is going to cover that, and maybe you have a gap to cover the deductible with that. So one more thing that's really important to consider. Back in 1997, the government changed, the IRS changed the one-time exclusion, and a lot of people don't realize this, from $125,000 one time to where you can actually exclude 100% of the gain, $250,000 for a single person and $500 for a married couple actually, of gains. So from a tax standpoint, downsizing, if you think about this, you can actually sell your home that you've been in for a number of years, take all that profit up to $250,000 or $500,000, depending on what your situation is, and you can exclude that capital gains and not pay any taxes on it. There's no longer a one-time exclusion. If you've owner-occupied that property for 2 of the last 5 years, you can take that owner-occupied exclusion multiple times in your lifetime. So if you play your cards right, you can actually take some pretty big tax savings over time and downsize and not have to pay any capital gains on that. So it's a great retirement strategy for people that are maybe looking to step down. They're not going to be penalized from a financial standpoint. You don't have to roll it into another property. So certainly talk to your accountant about that, but we've got some insight on it. We know enough to be dangerous, and we'll have some links in this email where you can go right to the IRS for that. So thanks again. Happy Friday. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.